Now that you've relinquished your on-air duties, the pressure is off. Who did you vote for?
None of this.
You got convinced by all those texts from Clive, didn't you?
Yeah.
You just caved in eventually.
It was just like, you know, I kept thinking I just wanted to go in there and where were the triumph of the parrots? So, you know,
well, you have been part of our election nights for a very long time. A lot of people can't imagine an election without you. But is it true that it happened by accident?
I just happened to be looking for a job one weekend. I'd gone back to university, done an economics politics degree. I'd worked in the computer industry. And then I saw this job ad for an election researcher. I was like, that's what I want. It was 6 months. They had 150 applicants, interviewed 8, 3 with PhDs, and they picked me. And I think I had the qualifications, but I also had this experience with computers, which was unusual in 1989. And I think the problem had always been how to get the journalists to talk to the people who ran the computers. And they think you found it was me who could do that between them. And I think to this day, I still act as that interface.
Even you describing yourself as an interface, yes. It's like, it's so arm's length, like you are our human election computer. But I've got to ask, what was it like the first time they were like, do you know what? Get the computer nerd on talking about it. No one else can do it. Were you bricking it? Were you terrified? What was that like?
Well, the first time I ever appeared on camera it was a report about a redistribution, and I had to point at a map, and my hand was going like that. And the director came down and gave me my first tip in television. She said, if you lean the pointer on the map, it won't shake. So that was my first tip.
Oh, wow. You really have had a love-hate relationship with the ABC computer over the years.
We haven't had that many problems. I mean, people sort of say, oh, your touchscreen doesn't work. It's usually something, it's me operating incorrectly or it's not communicating over a network. The technology has got much more complex over the years, and we rely a lot more on the computer to do calls, but it's still the basic design that I came up with in about 1991, but we've had to augment it and made it more complex and give us more ability to turn things on and off. Plus, these days, you had to be in the tally room in the 1990s to get the results. I call it bungee jumping for intellectuals. You were tethered to the Electoral Commission by this thin stream of data, and you're there on camera thinking, God, I hope that data keeps coming in. Nowadays, it's also like some computers talking to each other in the internet, and they pull down gigantic files. So you don't have to be in a tally room anymore. I miss the old tally room. It used to be great fun and the noise, and everyone was the bustle. But, I mean, you couldn't do a modern election coverage in the outside broadcast like that with all the technology we use these days.
Now, on the ABC, we know that someone has lost their seat because you tell us that they have lost their seat. Over on Channel 9, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but they do it a little differently. Let's take a look.
Into the drink. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
throw the ball.
Oh, it is.
Do you ever look at that and think, maybe I want a dunk tank?
Could you imagine what they would say if the ABC had a dunk tank? I mean, given the papal conclave, I was thinking, why don't we have a sort of smokestack with some milk?
Oh, that would have been wonderful.
No, that wouldn't have worked.